What if a group that isn't even a state could threaten one of the most important shipping routes on Earth, and the entire global economy still had to take it seriously? What if a group or a country didn't even need a navy to disrupt global trade? Right now, the Strait of Hormuz remains one of the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints in the world. To the world shock, a second pressure point is emerging. The Bab al-Mandab Strait. This is a narrow gateway connecting the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden and one of the most critical arteries for global oil and cargo shipments. As if there isn't already enough on the plate, the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen have threatened to disrupt or even close this passage. Mark that, Houthis in Yemen. Not a country, not a navy, but a non-state armed group. Yet the impact of that threat alone is enough to shake global shipping routes, reroute vessels across continents, and send shockwaves through energy markets. Because here is the reality. The modern global economy does not run on strength alone. It runs on routes, and those routes pass through a handful of fragile choke points. The world's shipping system is built around a few narrow maritime corridors that cannot be easily replaced. When even one of them comes under threat, the world doesn't stop, but it starts to slow down and becomes more expensive and far more uncertain. And the question is, can the world afford that right now? The answer is an emphatic no. Serving as a critical gateway to the Suez Canal, Bab al-Mandab Strait connects Asia directly to Europe through one of the fastest maritime corridors in the world. Nearly 12% of global seaborne oil flows through this narrow passage. That is around 8 to 9 million barrels every single day. It is one of the most important energy arteries on the planet, second only to the Strait of Hormuz. But it is not just oil. As it connects directly to the Suez Canal route, it carries a huge share of global shipping, around 30% of Asia-Europe container traffic and about 12 to 15% of the world's total trade value. That means everything: electronics, machinery, industrial parts, everyday consumer goods, all passing through a narrow stretch of water. Now imagine that route becomes unsafe. Ships don't wait to be attacked. They reroute. Instead of passing through the Red Sea, they sail thousands of extra kilometers around Africa. That means longer delivery times, higher fuel costs, and rising shipping prices. When shipping costs go up, companies pass that cost down, and eventually it shows up in the price you pay. That is why a narrow waterway can affect global inflation. And this raises a critical question. Who are the Houthis, and how can they influence global trade? Known as Ansar Allah, they are an armed group based in Yemen. They are not a formal government. They don't have a navy, but they control significant territory along Yemen's Red Sea coast, right next to one of the world's busiest shipping corridors. And that location is everything. Because in modern geopolitics, you just need to operate near it. And how do they do that? By relying on what is known as asymmetric tactics. They don't fight traditional naval battles. Instead, they use drones, missiles, and targeted attacks on commercial shipping. According to reports by Reuters and Associated Press, they have launched repeated attacks on merchant vessels in the Red Sea region, with over 100 incidents reported. But the real impact is not just physical damage, it is uncertainty. Because even a few attacks are enough to change behavior. Shipping companies begin avoiding the area. Insurance costs rise. Routes are changed, and a corridor that is technically open starts to function like it is closed. But Bab al-Mandab is not alone. The global system depends on a few critical choke points: the Strait of Hormuz, through which a large share of global oil exports pass; the Malacca Strait, one of the busiest trade corridors in the world; and the Suez Canal approach, linking Asia and Europe. Each one is small geographically, but massive economically. Now imagine a world where these choke points are no longer seen as stable, where different actors like states, militias, or armed groups begin signaling that they can disrupt them at any time. The system doesn't collapse overnight, but it breaks slowly. The global economy thrives on predictability. and not on constant disruption. And once that predictability disappears, you don't need a blockade to feel the impact. You only need uncertainty. Hence, it's high time the international community comes together to protect these vital choke points and ensure the stability of global trade. Because in a connected world, no disruption stays local for long, and uncertainty anywhere becomes a risk everywhere.